ladies and gentlemen. Y'all remember Bishop Lamar Whitehead. Now he's going by Bishop Lamar Miller Whitehead. Okay, so let's get into this story. So he is officially on trial in New York. And I remember the first time I saw him, it was when he was robbed during a church service. I believe it happened back in July of 2022, and it went viral online. And I think that was the first time I ever seen this man. And it didn't take long to piece together and realize that he is a con artist. So let's get into it. Bling Bishop Lamar Miller-Whitehead. His trial has begun officially on February 26th. He is in court for two charges that he has lodged against him right now. So he faces the start of jury selection 2 years after a grand jury lodged charges against him, including wire fraud, attempted wire fraud, attempted extortion, and making false statements to federal law enforcement officials. So prosecutors say he plundered a parishioner's savings and duped a businessman with false claims that he could leverage his connection to the New York City officials, including Mayor Eric Adams, to make millions of dollars. Miller Whitehead has pled not guilty. Miller Whitehead has been free on a $500,000 bail since his arrest, which came only months after he was the victim of a robbery when $1 million in jewelry was stolen from him by a gunman who surprised him during a church service. Yes, I will never forget that video. His lawyer, Dawn Florio, said at the time that her client felt as if he were being turned from a victim into a villain. Bishop Whitehead has pled not guilty and is looking forward to having his day in court so that he can fight these charges, Florio said in a statement Friday. So the charging documents, prosecutors made no mention of his friendship that Miller Whitehead developed with the city's mayor while he served as a Brooklyn borough president before his election to the city's top job. So a request from prosecutors suggests that the mayor's relationship with Miller Whitehead might become a focal point during the trial. Prosecutors are seeking to require a writer for the New Yorker to testify about a January 2023 article entitled uh, The Mayor and the Con Man. Attorney Rachel Strom, who represents the New Yorker staff writer Eric Lech, argued in a letter to the judge, Lorna G. Schofield, that prosecutors were trying to authenticate a generic, run of the mill denial that Whitehead made about his dealings with the mayor once Eric Adams knew he was the target of an investigation. The subpoena is highly invasive and would expose the journalists to cross examination and make the journalists effectively an arm of law enforcement, she wrote. The judge expected to rule before opening statements. So, at the news conference last week, the mayor was asking about the legal filings in the case, indicating prosecutors plan to show jurors evidence that Miller Whitehead used the name. So, what he did was he used Mayor Eric Adams' name to commit fraud in attempted extortion, is what they're saying in these filings. Adams responded that everyone reporting about it should quote the documents that stated that clearly he did not have the authorization and there was no connectivity to the actions of the mayor or borough president. Among pre-trial rulings, the judge has agreed to exclude mention of Miller-Whitehead's criminal conviction for identity theft and grand larceny, which resulted in a 5-year prison stint, although it could be brought up if he decides to testify. Miller-Whitehead became a religious figure when he formed the Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries in 2023. Although he preaches in Brooklyn, he owns a $1.6 million home in Paramus, New Jersey, and an apartment in Hartford, Connecticut. And I know exactly where Paramus is. Monday's trial stems from charges alleging he bilked a parishioner out of $90,000 in retirement savings by falsely promising he would find her a home and invest the rest in his real estate business. Prosecutors said instead he spent the money on luxury goods and clothing. He also is charged with trying to convince a businessman to lend him $500,000 and give him a stake in real estate deals by claiming he has ties to city officials, could earn favorable treatment for the businessman's interests. The businessman, Brandon Bonmonte, claim the federal authorities, who initiated a half-year probe in 2022, and it resulted in Miller-Whitehead's arrest. Some of the key evidence in the trial was expected to result from secret audio recordings made of conversations between Belmonte and Miller-Whitehead. So, yeah, I mean, the bishop is clearly a con artist. And I am not surprised that he is caught up once again after being jailed for 5 years. He's caught up in more legal matters. I mean, you would think if he was really sincere, he would try to be on the straight and narrow, but he just got out of jail and went back to being a crook. Go figure. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.